So how strong is the new nerfed Blastapopoulos boss Bloon in BTD 6? Yes, so Ninja Kiwi decided to nerf Blastapopoulos, which is one of the bosses that I would actually qualify not as difficult but more as annoying, and the annoying aspect came just from the stuns that Blastapopoulos releases. Now those stuns are exactly what Ninja Kiwi targeted with their recent nerfs to Blastapopoulos, so let me quickly explain to you guys what these changes are. So first off, whenever Blastapopoulos would spawn, he would spawn with a filled heat bar, and when the heat bar is filled, it stuns all of your towers globally. So now he's no longer going to be spawning with a filled heat bar, which means that the initial stun is no longer going to be happening. Now you can also trigger the heat bar by just attacking Blastapopoulos with a lot of projectiles, so something like, I don't know, like a tag zone or maybe like the druid strategy would do this pretty easily, and now that overheating stun duration has been reduced from 5 seconds to 4 seconds, which might not sound like a lot, but again, with some of these strategies it is actually 20% less, so you should see more uptime on your attacks. And then this last change affects every single tier of Blastapopoulos' fireballs, which get thrown to a couple of your towers. So tiers 1 and 2 now stun for only 2 seconds as opposed to 4 seconds, which is really nice actually, and tiers 3, 4, and 5 stun for 3 seconds instead of 4. So again, this whole stun duration, which made Blastapopoulos kind of annoying, is getting reduced by a decent amount. So from these changes, I feel like the biggest beneficiaries are just going to be strategies that use a lot of projectiles to pop the boss. So something like the druid spam strategy, often used for tier 2, or maybe even the tag zone, which is usually used for tier 1. So we're going to be doing exactly those strategies. And on a side note, Benji is actually a little bit stronger since this update. This is not a huge change that I'm going to make a full video on. So Benji's level 1 and 2 abilities actually, which is the money generating aspect per round, got improved. So now he generates $90 and $140 per round, which is actually kind of nice. It should be very noticeable in the early rounds, I think. So we're doing IMF farming and the bank is full. So let's get our IMF loan, and then I guess these guys are just going to be, yeah, let's go like this. Let me just upgrade one to the banana salvage, sell this guy. I should probably sell the other one. Actually, let's sell it as well, and let's deposit all the money so that we can fill it up again, because the capacity of the IMF loan is actually 12.5 as opposed to 9.5 on the bank. All right, so our IMF is filled up, but we don't have the ability cooldown ready yet. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna collect. Let's actually go like this. I'm gonna have the IMF of village like, or I should say the Minneapolis village like this. Not the ideal spot, but this map is very clumped up. Let's also get the NG. So this is gonna be a 013 NG, and then we want to discount this monkey town, and then I think we have to hit start actually for this round so we get the ability cooldown back. There we go, we get the ability. So let's use the ability. Let's upgrade to the monkey town, monkey city, and then let's I think we sell both of these guys. Let's get the monkeyopolis, or I should say the IMFopolis. Then this should be right about enough money for the blue trap happening on round 32. That is crazy. That's really good timing actually. All right, so round 39. So here's how this farming setup looks like. We have 3 marketplaces, this 025 favorite trades, and then we have 16.7k in the bank. So we want to use the tag zone for the tier 1 just because we want to see the impact of this reduced stun duration. So that's why we're going to be using a lot of projectiles to pop this guy. Give it a 320 alchemist. I'm also going to give it the jungle jumps buff, and then we're missing about $11,000. Now what we could do is we could probably just sell a couple of marketplaces, but I would rather just is waiting an option actually. We can sell 2 marketplaces and just get there. Yeah, never mind, we just made the money super fast. So 19,000 about to be there. There goes the tag zone. Look at the heat bar filling. Okay, so this new stun duration on the tier 1 and the tier 2 should be very evident in this tag zone, in a sense that the tag zone should be getting a lot more uptime on its attacks. So is one single tag zone placed here, which you can barely see, I know, but is this guy gonna be able to beat the boss by itself is the question. Let's also get the strongest stem, and also let's get a dark monkey here in the bottom right corner so that one of the meteors gets launched to it instead of a Benji. All right, this tag zone is actually doing it, and this reduced stun duration is so much, like you can see it so easily on this one because the tank is not getting stunned that much. That's crazy. I mean, look at this guy's range even. Is it gonna beat the whole thing though? Because the range is kind of small, so it has a very short amount of time to actually defeat the boss. But yeah, this is exactly what the new change is supposed to be doing, guys. Let me just keep placing a couple of these merchantmen while we're at it. Just don't forget to farm, but eventually we're gonna be going into like even trade empire plus banana central farming, so we're gonna have everything essentially. But yeah, this is gonna be the last call, and actually one single tag zone is looking like it's gonna do it versus the tier 1 with very limited space. So this is exactly these new nerfs to Blastapopoulos. We can actually see them and they are working. So yeah, a lot better, just a lot better of a performance for the tag zone in general. It seems like I like this a lot actually. So we're in round 50, and the sell value for all of our farms is about $75,000, and you need about 135,000 for the the Banana Essential. So when we get to 60k, which should be on this one, I think, yeah, there we go. Let's just sell all of these guys. Let me just find a spot for the Banana Essential, which should be, oh, we're $1,000 off. That's so close. Yeah, we're gonna get it on this round. So there we go. Round 51 Banana Essential. Not too bad, not too bad. All right, so it's round 59, and we wanted to test the stun duration of the fireballs and just like the overall stun again by using a lot of projectiles. And this time we're gonna do it with druids. So let's see if we can fit, like, I need to fit like 2 more of these druids inside of the range of the village, preferably. Yeah, I don't think there's any spot for the last one. So let's have the last one like this. Their range is also gonna get reduced like crazy. So yeah, that's one thing we should be taking note of. There we go. So this is gonna be the final Populous. We have our druid army ready. We could probably give them an alchemist, actually. Let's do so. One of them is not gonna do the thing, but it's gonna be better than nothing. So let's go like this. All right, so we have our first fireballs getting launched, and one of them is wait, it's not getting launched onto the, oh, that's because this is not the most expensive tower. It's actually getting launched on this guy, on the Banana Central. All right, so these druids should have basically free reign versus this boss, right? With the exception of their range is gonna get reduced by, yeah, there we go. Yeah, so besides the lower range, let's see the impact of these stuns. So this is the heat bar getting filled, and this stun is 4 seconds instead of 5. So look at this, they're just back at it. They're back at attacking the boss. All right, so the problem that we seem to be facing so far is these pyroclastic rocks, actually, which spawn on every skull, and just the druids have their vision obstructed and they cannot exactly attack the boss. But when it comes to the stuns, I don't think they care. I mean, look at the heat bar just getting filled up. It's close to popping the skull as well. There goes the skull. One more skull getting procced. We are about to have a meteor launch to, I guess, one of these guys. So it's gonna affect the alchemist, but it also might affect, yes, it's affecting some of the druids, and that includes the avatar rat as well. So fireball's getting launched, but as long as, you know, these rocks are not blocking vision, I don't think that we're just gonna have any issues. So yeah, these nerfs to Blastapopoulos are actually noticeable in these strategies, like the ones that I'm showcasing in this video. The tags and the druids, they just don't care at this point. All right, so coming back in range of these druids for the final damage stage, we have one more skull left to go. We're gonna see one more filling of the heat bar. So again, everyone's done, and we're even gonna see fireballs getting launched to, I guess, this guy, but the main one is not being affected. Yeah, it's actually being affected by the AoE of the meteor radius. But yeah, these changes, guys, are absolutely not they don't seem to be doing anything for these multiple projectile strategies. So there we go. That's the tier 2. That was a pretty easy clear, honestly. Maybe a little bit on the slower side because we could have bought something like some damage amplification towers and maybe like one more alchemist, but everything went amazingly. And what do we do for this one? I was thinking just getting the boats, honestly, because we can get a free nave arc essentially, and it's gonna be a super high degree. So let's actually try and stack up some of these boats. Oh, wait a minute, there's a tower limit? I didn't know there was a tower limit. No, go back. Operation sell the boats and go just buy a couple of farms. 79 just ended, and we're about to phase the tier 3, and this 30 tower limit is actually a little bit annoying because we cannot have any sacrificial towers. So we're just gonna put in all the money that we have and just get as high of a degree as possible onto this Dark Paragon. That's 60. That's a huge one, actually. All right, so this guy should be able to melt the tier 3, and oh my god, it's not even close. All right, this guy's just destroying the boss, but we should also see the stun, or I should say the reduced stun duration of the Paragons as well, which should be 3 seconds. Yeah, look at this thing. Meteor balls are just getting launched into our Dark Paragon, and this thing is, I don't think it cares. I mean, I don't think it cared before, but it like cares even less now. It's just stunned for a very short amount of time. The reason why it's not attacking, by the way, there's a lot of rocks which we cannot see. The rocks are just blocking vision, but once they're gone, we are just gonna get back to like straight insane damage from this Paragon. Yeah, there we go. Look at this guy go. He's just destroying the boss. This is not even close, especially because the Dark Paragon is really nice versus Blastapopoulos, right? So he creates these rocks, but the Juggernaut balls just bounce within the rocks and they just amplify the damage he takes. The 2 more skulls remaining, his vision is still blocked onto this Dark Paragon. There we go. The rocks get removed. We trigger a skull. One of the skulls goes into the Dart Paragon, and this guy just, again, just keeps attacking because the stun lasts for such a short duration. It doesn't even matter. Yeah. All right, there we go. So that was a tier 3, a pretty easy clear, and honestly, because this is such a high degree on the Dark Paragon, I think it's gonna be able to defeat the tier 4 by itself, right? So 99 this time, tier 4 about to appear. The difference between this one and the tier 3 is actually nothing when it comes to the stun from these fireballs and like this overheat stun. I guess it might have a little bit of a difference in just how fast the Dark Paragon clears this one out, although it doesn't seem to be struggling that much. I don't think this seems to be pretty fast as well. Yeah, this Dark Paragon is such an amazing tower versus Blastapopoulos, but I guess you can lose if something like this happens. I see a DDT. Are the Juggernaut balls gonna get it? I think they are. It's even Trojan. Oh my god, can we? I think we can tank it actually. 841 lives. Yes, 91. That's ridiculous. And this is exactly what, by the way, this reduced stun duration does. Your towers are just gonna be able to handle things like this. Yep, absolutely just demolishing the boss, and hopefully nothing else leaks. There we go. So no more skulls, which means that the Dark Paragon is gonna keep attacking. And there goes tier 4. Alright, so we have a bunch of cash, and I think I'm gonna see you guys at the tier 5, and I have to decide what I want to use for that one. So I'm gonna see you guys in a second. Yeah, we could probably do a combination of the Sub Paragon and the Knave Arc. So 2.8 million. Let me sell all these farms, see how much money we're gonna end up with. That's gonna be 3.5. So here's what I want to do. Let's get the non-siege core, but I don't want to put everything. Let's put like, I don't know, like 800k inside of this thing, so we save a little bit of cash for the Goliath. This is gonna be a degree 44. That's fine. And honestly, I'm just gonna do the Goliath without any additional sacrifices. Not the way to do it, but I think that we have this one in the bag. But let's also make sure we save a little bit of cash for these damage amplification towers. That's gonna be a low degree actually in the Knave Arc. It's not the Knave Arc, the Goliath, but that's a 32. Yeah, not the one that we're used to seeing. Get our damage amplification towers and let's go. Alright, so 35 million on this guy. Let me just send this the Goliath to Wing Monkey, and let's also have the path for the bombardment ability set like this. Yeah, this one should be more than enough. I feel like the heat bar is not going anything just because the heat bar on like the tier, I think something from tier 3 is kind of a joke. Honestly, there's no way you can fill it up whatever you use. So just let your towers attack. There's gonna be at least one overheating just because of these skulls proccing, but let's actually make sure we get an ability out. Oh my god, this ability is frozen in place. Please let me use it once. Yes, finally we get to use the Goliath ability once, and this is probably gonna be the only time that we get to use it during this run. And yeah, these guys are just destroying the boss. So yeah, that was the new Blastapopoulos. I think you can definitely see the difference, especially in the first 2 tiers, because we did use a lot of projectiles and it didn't seem to matter that much. This overheating aspect is now just so much weaker that you can pretty much use, you know, your, I guess it opens up the space, right, for the tank zones and the druid strategies and similar ones to those. But there goes the tier 5, so that was a kind of an easy boss, I want to say, and the thing that made Blastapopoulos annoying has been in a way dealt with. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I'm gonna see you on the next one.